Hello, hello, and welcome back to Divine Journey 2. Last time we went through Draconic Evolution to do exactly what we're doing right behind us, to craft a Chaotic Core. Naturally though, to do something like that, we need to kill a Chaos Guardian, which we also did. We also went and set up this thing, the Mass Inscriber, that now makes us a whole ton of processors for AE2 whenever we need it. All on demand as opposed to passively, but that's okay because this thing is just so darn fast. Today we're going to step into Alchemistry. So I wanted to get some Chemistrite done, I want to grow some Chaosium, I want to unlock Fissiodine, and I want to get the Infinite Impetus glitch that's totally working, 2025. The joke here is that it's not actually a glitch, it's this thing right here. But this thing right here has a whole bunch of other stuff that, leads to it. So we gotta do all this first. And then, all the stuff that comes after that. But, you know how it is, right? Starting off strong, we need an alchemical machine frame. These things are painful, and it's why I was crafting another Chaotic Core. For this, we need some mineral salt, which we put together last episode, awakened draconium, which we have, a draconic machine frame, which we can craft, and then we got these two things. We have a crystal core, which needs to be made with a rock crystal that is a suitably high size and purity, but otherwise not too bad at all, and a steel singularity. I've never made a singularity before, so this is also going to be a first for me. Lots of firsts of endgame for me, but, I think working so hard to get to endgame is what makes it really special, right? So we'll start with the crystal core. Alright, so I went ahead and mined some rock crystal ore, and here's all the ones that we got that are above 75% purity, which is what we need for the crystal cores. But we need also a size of 300 or more, which most of these are not. So we're going to toss the rest into the crystal machine. So the rest we're going to toss into the crystal machine here, and it'll grow these over time. And there we have a crystal core. No quest for this one, not yet. So we need to make a quantum compression machine. A quantum compressor, if you will. Honestly, this doesn't look too bad. Which is kind of crazy because all this stuff here is like ridiculously expensive, right? Boom, quantum compressor. But we also need a singularification catalyst, which is not too bad. It does take another awakened core, but I mean, we have a few of those spare. Yep, here we are. I think this is a quest, right? Yes. So I think for something like this, we can get rid of our old dye mixer over there because we have dye seeds and, I don't think we're short of the things that make more dyes. So this should work if I figured everything out right. So the interface dumps everything into this drawer here, which we have specifically unlocked, which will dump everything into this quantum compressor here, which is very fast filling up with the steel, but it's not getting power for some reason, despite the fact that this should be giving power. Oh, Entangloporter, what's your oh, is it? Ah, okay. It just didn't have eject on. Alright, whatever. There we go. Much better. Steel Singularity. It feels crazy to be holding one of these, for several reasons. Anyway, now that we can request all that, we should be able to request an alchemical machine frame from our laser focus. We've only got like 2 or 3 more of these tiers of machine frames to go. And we've got the stabilized one, penultimate, and then ultimate. We're almost there, we're almost there. This is our 4th to final tier of machine frame. Can you believe it? So next we need a chemical dissolver. Oh, that is a very power-hungry machine. Yeah, it certainly uses a lot of energy, and this will let us dissolve, well, chemicals, right? Like, I mean, it's in the name. Yeah, not too bad. Ooh. Hey, a trophy. I'm never gonna stop getting scared by trophies, I swear. About a week's time between the two of them, that's not too bad. Spiking food? I could spike bread with potassium cyanide and then cover it up with 8 bits of salt. Are you serious? Wait, this mod is good? Alright, well, we just unlocked like 40 quests, so, let's get started on this, right? Now, I imagine a lot of these are pretty standard. Yeah, stuff like this, where it's like we melt down meteoric iron to get stuff. Alright, so I'm seeing that one of the first quests that we want is Mesquite. We get this from dissolving void metal, and we have a 50% chance to either get Mesquite or iron oxide. One of these is a little bit better than the others because we actually want one of these. So I want to test if I throw in, let's say, a piece of void metal, we get some iron oxide. If I throw in another piece, we get Mesquite. I'm also noticing we get like a lot of just like junk iron, and I don't know if we need this even like a little bit. Maybe I should get some drawers for that, because I imagine we're going to have a lot of excess chemicals. So if I throw in another, we get another batch of Mesquite, and I get the feeling that it really is just like a 50-50 coin flip. Let's grab some more of these and probably put some speed upgrades out the thing at the back. Oh my goodness, half a stack of runes agreed. Nice. I can't help but feel like I'm probably going to be burning those soon. Anyway, I believe most of these are just like melt stuff down into other stuff. Like that's kind of brutal. Like methane. Or beam cores. So I'm going to set a bunch of recipes for the ones that are guaranteed. And for the ones that aren't guaranteed, like Mesquite here, Mesquite is a 50% roll for, you know, getting mesquite. Or I guess we could theoretically do like impetus jewels and guarantee it, but like, you know, void metal's so much cheaper. So I think what I'm going to do is for ones like this, I'm going to run it through 3 times so that it's almost guaranteed we get at least one of them. So for example, we'll turn 3 void metal blocks into 36 mesquite. And if we get extra, well, we'll just use it for next time and whatever we're doing, right? I feel like that's pretty reasonable. So I'll be back in like a little while, and you'll probably watch like a cool compilation of like 1 billion quest completions. Okay, that was like a lot of recipes, but also check this out. Look at all this cool stuff. 12 wyvern cores, 16 rainbow tablets, 4 impetus cells, a stack of demon hearts. Some pretty cool stuff here, I gotta say. That said, there's a few things I'll be taking note of. Evil infused iron is something we're going to need to passive. And then we'll probably come back to some bewitchment stuff too. Right now though, it looks like we have 2 notable options, that being growing chaos and this chemical caster here. I want to do this first because I want more of these. So for this we need iodine, mercury, and copper chloride in a liquid crafter to get some wacky mixture. Then we purify it with some nickel chloride to get pure iodine. Then a little bit of iodine and a little bit of mesquite and titanium oxide will give us tiny bits of chaos. 2 mesquite, a titanium oxide, and 10 millibuckets of liquid iodine will give us the tiniest little bit of chaos. We get quite a lot of iodine from this recipe, and we get a decent amount of this from this recipe. So notably about all these recipes, this will be another 3 liquid crafters, which I think is cheaper for us now. I mean, we can almost request 3. We're just missing, you know, 15,000 of galactic plating. Oh, is that all? And we have some like buffer issues and stuff. But we can almost request 1. We just need more tough dude, we're gonna spend so much time sitting on tough galactic plating. Oh my goodness. Maybe I'll expand this to a 5 wide setup. Cause like this is fast, but it obviously needs to be faster. Alright, well that took forever. Let's do the chemical caster real quick. Now that we actually, you know, can. So the ingredients don't seem too bad, at least for the blueprint. The rest of this stuff seems mostly fine, I think. 2 chemical dissolvers kind of hurts. Oh, we have not made one of these before, and oh my goodness. Oh dear. Oh, that's a little pricey. Overall, I think we can make it though, right? Like, it's just steps and a lot of materials. Let me put this all together, I guess. Another 6,000 galactic plating. Why is glass take 4 blocks for 1 glass? I have to wait on another 6,000 galactic plating. Dude, I've spent like 30,000 galactic plating in the past 4 hours. Come on! This is unbelievable. Well, that was fun. No, it wasn't. That chemical caster is real expensive. But, I mean, hey, at least we have it now. As well as this whole new room. And a periodic table. I saw someone else do this, and I thought it was cool, so I copied them. Anyway, next up we have a few options. We have this liquefier here. Another one of these very expensive alchemical machines. This lets us do stuff. If I recall correctly, this is one of the more important recipes we want, is this bromine one. Right now we're going to start with these corrupted cores. These are like chaotic cores, except evil and green. They're evil because they take barium and psyllium and kaolinite. Kaolinite comes from wyvern cores. And if that's not evil, I don't know what is. The barium we get from a few things. We get it from this Han purple, which we do get from wyvern cores. But we can also get it from barium sulfate, which we get from melting crystalline for the copper chloride. So we can at least get some of this stuff from, extra stuff. It's not all bad. It's just, mostly bad. That said, I did finally put the time together to make one of these. One of these, of course, being an automation interface. This should let us properly auto-craft with these now, or at least, one of them. You can stick it on top of one of the extended crafting tables, and then set recipes in this, and you can basically just kind of put recipes through this as like an interface. So like you need this and a normal ME interface. So we could move these, but I don't really know where we'd move them to. While I'm here, I should probably cut some stuff off the list, like that one, and that one, but not that one yet, or that one. Anyway, let's see if we can't just request one of these corrupted cores. Looks like we can. Fancy. Albeit this one doesn't, glimmer like the chaotic ones did. So next we need to make some antimony strontium, which is made with strontium and antimony. We also need some cadmium arsenic compound, and I believe both of these metals are highly toxic. I'm not actually sure if these are both metals. Neither of them may be metals, actually. So now we can make a chemical combiner, and this has a lot of text here. Overall, this machine doesn't seem too bad to make. It's a lot of antimony strontium and some chromium barium, but that's not too bad, I think. It is 4 impetus jewels and 4 primordial fragments, but those won't be an issue for long, right? Feels a little odd creating something so expensive in a table so small. Albeit, I suppose everything small is what alchemistry is for, right? It's like molecules and atoms and all that. I was never very good at chemistry when I was biology. Well, I wasn't great at chemistry, usually. Anyway, so the quest wants us to make some diammonium phosphate, the Ain brothers, a couple gemeralds, Han calcite, beryl zinc oxide, and beryl zincite. And after we get the Ain brothers, we can go get Peridot, which lets us get green dragon coin. And putting all that together should, I think, get us to this thing. So let me set like a quadrillion recipes and I'll be back again. Wait, this thing takes forever. Oh, that's not good. Maybe I should look into more of these combiners. Alright, so now we have our corrupted dragon tokens to craft. These are the cadmium arsenic compounds, which as a reminder is a deep well from flying ointment, and the arsenic we get from rainbow tablets. So flying ointment and rainbow tablets, plus the stuff that goes into peridots, which is a bunch of wood for the hexane, will for the magnesium oxide, and wafers for the sulfate. So for the most part, it's just rainbow tablets and flying ointment, plus, the corrupted core. So what you think? Would you invest in green dragon coin? I am a little bit more tempted. It is green. I'll have to get back to the investors on this one. So I need to liquefy some stuff first, so I can talk to the investors later. Oh yeah, I looked at this already. This isn't that bad. Well, relatively speaking. Alright, so the penultimate goal here is this oxygen-rich barium calcite perpetuator. Would you believe me if I said I did this first try? But me saying that I did it first try actually took me 2 takes. So we need to melt some tungsten, some nitrogen, and then add a whole bunch of stuff together that we've already crafted in a liquid crafter. The problem is that tungsten's not particularly a nice melt. 144 is not divisible into 1000 particularly easily, so we'll probably just use like a tank for that. And the same is true of nitrogen. Beyond that, this is an on-demand recipe, and we do not have an on-demand liquid crafter, so let's see if we can craft another one. Thank goodness I have been sitting here for a long time. I was rebolstering the old root seeds, and obviously doing a lot of chemicals and the like. So it looks like galactic plating is kicking back off. Oh my, that might last us for a little while. Alright, so next up is the fission reactor. This will let us split elements into component elements. Not quite as good as putting them together, like combining things, say fusion style, but it's still important. Ooh, that's a bit of a craft. Jeez. These cores aren't a whole lot better either. At least these casings aren't too bad, I guess. This might take me a little bit. Ouch. I guess we'll go increase the star leather buffer to like 1000. No, no, we were so close. Ugh. I think I'm just gonna let some stuff craft and then I'll go raid the emptiness for the rest of these fragments. We were so close to getting away with it, though. We were so close. Well, a long crafting chain later, here we are with a Fission controller. And I think we've just set this here. It forms the multi-block. Invalid. Where am I supposed to put it? Oh, it goes here. Alright, so now that we have Fission, we can access a lot of these materials. Fission makes these ones, in particular, easier. So we'll swap out recipes for strontium, chromium, and manganese. But for the most part, it looks like a lot of these are just going to be, more steps of chemistry. So we're going to be spending gold in the Fission to make zirconium. Either gold, platinum, or iridium for yttrium, probably doesn't matter. Lead for niobium. We'll probably do lithium for helium, because we have a lot of lithium compared to beryllium. Tungsten for rubidium. Bismuth for molybdenum. Silver for vanadium. We'll probably do sodium for boron, because of, salt. And calcium for neon. I imagine there's a lot of things to get calcium from. Oh, or we could do niobium to get it from lead. Tempting. I'll look at the 2 recipes. Anyway, I'm going to set a billion more recipes. I'll be back. Alright, so now that we have a bunch of elements out of the way, let's look at some of the actually cool things here. So we'll start with zirchetrid beryllium alamide, made with zirconium, yttrium, and beryllium alamide, which makes sense if you, put it together. It's like a zirc, ytrid, beryllium alamide. Next we have ruby rubidium, from rubidium and ruby. I mean, makes sense, right? Next is mendelevium and VMB compounds. Mendelevium we get from nether stars, but we have automatic nether stars, so who cares? And then the VMB is vanadium, mendelevium, and boron. But we have basically all of these. None of these are too bad. We also have these Ziskback sheets, made of zirconium, yttrium, scandium, copper, beryllium, alamide, argon, carbonate, and helium sheet. Oh, it's in a liquid crafter? Oh! Helium, argon, plus most of the stuff we've made before. We'll come back to this. This might take a while. I'll throw some helium and argon in the liquefiers, and we'll come back once we can make, like, a couple of these. But while that's all going on, let's look into a Goddess's Pearl. So we need 4 fully crafted primordial pearls, or the full durability ones, excuse me, plus some magnesium and a piece of molybdenum in a chemical combiner, which does not seem that expensive, really. I went digging through the emptiness earlier, and I got these primordial pearls. These are not bad, but obviously they need to be fixed up a little bit still. So we need 10 more tool poppets. Alright, we should be able to just combine all this stuff here. Boom. Oh, hey, give me that back. So notably, it says AE2 does not like this, so we'll just set up like a sequential fabricator or an RF tools crafter out in the passive wing for this. Well, while we're waiting on crafting for those Ziskback sheets, I guess we'll look at fission coolant units. So, oh, that's not too bad actually. Neon lights are fairly cheap, and cadmium arsenic is, I think, easier now. I think we have a better way of making cadmium. No. Well, I thought we did. So while that's crafting, we should be able to make our Ziskback sheets. Oh, look, fission coolant units are done too. Nice. So that takes us here to the weak fusion plant. It's a big ol' 5x5 block, an ultimate energy hatch. Ouch. Okay, cool it. What the heck, man? Not cool. These gearboxes take VMB compounds and 4 reinforced casings each. Ouch. The circuitry, ugh. Each one of these is going to be one of these calcite perpetuators, plus another bunch of Ziskback sheets. We need like 13 of these, and half a stack of reinforced. Thank goodness we have so much galactic plating now, man. Oh my gosh. And stellar conduits aren't good enough, so we gotta make cryostabilized flux ducts. Alright, well, I guess I'll be back in a while. Alright, so full clarity, I have no idea where I left off the previous clip, but I do know that I'm sick and tired of all this stuff taking so long. So I got me a little trick. And this trick involves the accelerating of some ticks. So let's see if a little something like this and this can't make this a little bit easier on me. Well, it looks like the arrow's going backwards, so I think that's a good thing. Look at these numbers though. Scheduled 13,000 scandium. Unbelievable, dude. There's gotta be a better way to make this stuff. Oh, it's taking so long. I'm becoming old, man. I really hope I never need 50-something of these ever again. I'm seeing I could use it for like flat terrain dimlets, and like I think this experience has decided to make me not want to do that ever again unless I can be like yes, give me like 30 of those in the background while I'm doing anything else with my time. I do notice I need it for these, so which means each of these condensers is going to be like 8 of those sheets, and each of these condensers is going to be like 40, I think. But I'm just kind of hoping by that point I have an easier way to do this, right? Like, condenser 2 is down here, and, I mean, I don't think we need this, like, immediately, right? Like, at that point, we're probably getting to about this area. I don't imagine we could make fusion by that point, but maybe we can, I don't know. Point is, that stuff takes way too long to make. A scandium world might be in my future because, either that or I just don't know how to make this stuff right. Like, you can make it with molybdenum and you get 2 instead of 1 instead of the niobium recipe, which, like, helps a bit. Like, I guess you could run bismuth through it, but, like, bismuth is from demonic elixirs, and I don't really like burning demonic. I guess I could burn demonic elixirs, like, that could be fine. I would get, on average, like, 192 per pull, which would be, like, 3 scandium per, which would be, like, 400 scandium per elixir. I mean, that's not that bad. That's still so much. It takes so long. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's finally done. Oh, man. And I think that means we're finally able to make a weak fusion plant. About time. That should, yeah, give us an orange box. Really goes great with our gray box over there. Okay, so this thing needs a boatload of power, so this should suffice. Alright, so before I take a break, I want to at least see the fruits of my labor. Let's make some uranium. Alright, so it's 16 antimony, 16 niobium, and a fission cooling unit. Antimony's not too bad, I believe. Yeah, it's N steel. That's not terrible. Let's go set a recipe. Not enough energy. Really? 12 million per tick, huh? I guess it's not enough. The max output we can do is 14, so I'm not entirely sure why this can't provide. Is that more than the entangleporter can do? Yes, here we go. Shout out Integrated Dynamics for doing everything. I think I'm starting to get the hang of Integrated Dynamics, and it's very, very powerful. And we have some uranium to show for it. Okay, now I'm gonna go take a break, and then we'll look at all this stuff for that spicy looking salsa over here. Alright, back to it. Let's finish this out. First up is palladium. We get this from breaking down uranium, and ytterbium, which we get from fusing arsenic and rubidium. Next up is radium. We get this from fusing molybdenum and palladium. We can also fuse palladium and cadmium into plutonium. Next we need ruthenium, or ruthenium. The best way for this is breaking down radium in the fission multiblock. Next is thorium from ruthenium and palladium. We also have bromine from ytterbium. And finally we have rhodium for breaking down thorium. And finally, this brings us to our highly radioactive dimension-splitting compound, our very spicy salsa here. So firstly, we need to create some liquid bromine, then we need molten uranium, also both from the liquefier, then we need to get some plutonium and rhodium, put it all in the liquid crafter. So about 3 melts of bromine, and quite a bit of uranium, plus a tiny bit of plutonium and rhodium, gives us a singular of these very spicy nachos. Oh boy. I've done a little bit of changing to this liquid crafter over here. We now have some levers that have some smarter logic with these cables and tanks, and we have a liquefier out the back. So we do most everything on site here now. We have an interface with recipes that pushes into this crate, and this crate either pushes the liquid materials over here, or the non-liquid materials over here. Each of these tanks are locked to a specific fluid, so the liquefier just pushes into the right one each time. And these extracts are controlled by redstone, controlled by these redstone conduits and levers up here. So these are for the Ziskback sheets, and this is for the perpetuators. And then once you need to take them out, you just grab the tank and right-click the thing. There's unfortunately no way to pull out of the input hatches, at least from my very rudimentary testing, which is mildly unfortunate, but oh well. Now the problem here is that there's only 2 of these, because there's only, like 2 sides here. I'm not particularly keen on making another liquid crafter, but I guess I could. Or I could just stuff some more space into space. I mean, I guess that would work, right? That's probably the best idea. Overall, I think this is just steps for us. Oh, we do need to upgrade the power input. I believe the quest did tell us about that. So I think I should be able to just smack this, and good things should happen. Yes, here we go. Okay, now this is gonna hurt to hold, I believe. I mean, it's not that bad. Oh, I guess it is. Okay, it's kind of that bad. I've tasted worse. Alright, 2 free corrupted dragon tokens. And technically, that is chapter 26. I guess we could go over here if we wanted to mess with chaotic, draconic, but I don't. At least not right now, because apparently this is a crafting ingredient later. But we do have access to this thing, the stabilized dimensional machine frame. Yet another machine frame. We're almost there though, we're almost to the last one. So this one is, like the previous, quite expensive. I imagine we'll need quite a few of these, so I'll batch up some crystal cores. 8 highly radioactive dimension splitting compounds per machine frame is a little pricey though, and I do see that energy is going to require yet another ultimate energy hatch. Ugh. And a corrupted corpor frame too. Ouch. Let's see if we can't put one of these together real quick. While I'm waiting on a bunch of stuff to craft, it's probably in our best interest to upgrade Fusion over here though. These energy exporters are crazy. Well, it's a lot, but we can request it. And it still seems like less than the Zisk back sheets did, so I think that's good. Dang it! Oh, well, that's all cooking. Let's look to surpass. So we need some rhodium and a superium infusion crystal. Okay, I promise I'm gonna set this up between episodes. I'm tired of crafting these things. But this should be almost done. Oh yeah. Welcome to RF Tools Dimensions. I will take my manual, please. A fine addition to my collection. Look how many books are in this book. I really appreciate that the pack has given these to me one at a time, because if they just started me with all these, that'd be terrible. Like, that'd be so overwhelming. But one at a time, you know, I know what each of these does now. We can now make some insanium. Look at that. Thing of beauty. It's beautiful because it's purple, and it's a good shade of purple. Well, this is the last group of seeds. Goodbye, I'll miss you. I'll miss you too. We can't make this yet, so let's not say farewells too early. Yeah, we need dimensional shards for this, and we don't have that. Well, I want to get to Perfectium today. I think that'll be a great place to cut off everything. So we need this, which needs the atomizer. In particular, we need another liquefier, plus the atomizer, plus all this other stuff. Thankfully, I made a few extra premium infusion crystals, but it does require another 12 Zisk back sheets, which I am not a fan of, on principle. Well, that took a little while, but I used that time to do some important stuff. So now we can make Perfectium, with 4 Insanium, 5 Perfectium Essence, 9 Perfectium Balls, and 9 Perfectium Blocks. We can make 1 compressed Perfectium block, which is what we need for each empty dimension tab, and we need a lot of these. So let's see how far we can get in that regards. Yes, here we go. Perfect. Literally. So we can take a Perfectium block for the quest, and grab a compressed Perfectium block. Fancy, isn't it? Now, I don't know how many of these we're going to get in the near future. We have 107,000 Supremium to go through still, in addition to about 6,000 Insanium. So I'm hoping that gives us like, I don't know, 8? Supremium was at like 200,000 last time I checked, I think. And again, that was before putting it all into Insanium, of course. Yeah, I think we should have quite a lot by the time we're through this whole backlog of Supremium here, which is really good, provided this crystal didn't break. Okay, so some of these crystals have been breaking lately, and I've been very careful and diligent about making sure they don't. Yeah, we're already up to 6 blocks. That is great. And so I think next time we'll work on making these dimension tabs. We could probably make one of these right now, but I mean, if we keep going like, oh, we could make this now, we could make this now, we'll be here for another hour, right? So let's take some stuff off the docket. We got that one, and I guess that one. And a hypothetical couple extra checks that were there if you thought about it really hard. That's the salsa and the Perfectium. Anyway, I feel like we did really good today. That was like all of Alchemistry, right? You know, it was probably quite short for you, but for me, that took forever. But hey, all the same, you know, progress is progress, and we're making good progress at that. I feel like this guy behind me, he's going so fast. I mean, that's not entirely true. I ordered like a half a stack of Zisk back sheets like an hour ago, and it's still crafting. But, you know, that's what thinking ahead is for. And worry not, thinking ahead I am. I know we're going to need quite a lot of these in the coming future, so I figure I may as well get them now. You think 8 singularities at any given time is going to be enough? Probably not. Anyway, between episodes I'll probably work on a few extra passive things. I'm very tempted to start passiving Bottled Hellfire and the like at this point. Solar Ingots take quite a while. And if I'm at that point, then, well, maybe I'll passive Wyvern Cores, and you'll see that and you'll go, wow, passive Wyvern Cores. But, you know, don't count on it. Anywho, next time we'll be doing RF Tools Dimensions. Any Mistcraft enjoyers in chat? Probably not. I'm excited for it though. I love making new stuff, like entire dimensions that can hold under my whim. And I hope to see you in the YouTube dimension, watching my video dimension from your home dimension next time. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.